Sure, certainly. To stay on with me, Adrian, then as we move ahead.
Sure, absolutely.
Viewers, a strong international response has been issued after US strikes in Venezuela and the capture of President Nicolas Maduro. The European Union has said restoring democracy must respect the will of the people of Venezuela, stressing international law and the UN Charter. The statement was backed by 26 European Union members, with Hungary opting out. Meanwhile, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, Uruguay and Spain have rejected any outside control of Venezuela, warning against foreign administration or access to its oil. Maduro is currently held in New York awaiting a court appearance on US drug charges. I request Adrian to join me back in the discussion here. Adrian, of course, the reactions that are coming in from across the world are divided. They're divided even within Venezuela and within the United States as well. What do you think will really help Trump from, decreasing the intensity, at least, of his campaign against Maduro?
One thing, and that's a great question. One thing that I think will help significantly is there's a bloc of 10 countries led by Argentina that significantly abstained from these statements coming out of the presidents of Colombia and the other countries that you mentioned that are aligned with Maduro. So I think that could do a large part in kind of stabilizing it, because these countries around that area, and Argentina has carries significant weight in that region, and if they can form a bloc of 10 countries that understand the corrosive element that this regime has had in their countries. Colombia is just one example. It's a domino that fell. The whole idea is to hopefully push that domino back the other way and get it standing back up straight. So I think that's one aspect of it. And then I think to the Europeans, the message needs to be, we want to get this resolved, but we can't have this resolved, in a fortnight. This can't be done at the snap of a fingers. My guess is that the Trump administration had a very good plan in place as far as who they had tapped, individuals inside Venezuela that could step forward. They also have a indictment that they would, that's prosecutable, that they wouldn't have done this unless they could think they could carry this type of thing off. And the message to Europe would be that, a lot of the drugs, the message from the United States, I think it's been kind of mixed on the drug destinations for the Venezuelan cartels. A lot of the destination is Europe, actually. It goes to West Africa and then up through a pipeline into Europe, often dominated by Hezbollah. And that brings up another national security concern in there. So Europe has a benefit as well, is when you look at the illicit drugs that are coming into the country and having a corrosive effect on them. So, I think Trump needs to move away from this oil talk immediately and say, what we're doing is we're liberating Venezuelan people from 25 years of dictatorship. 1/3 of the country has fled. It's the largest migration or exodus besides the Syrian civil war, the Syrian population. And truly, they've been occupied by the Islamic Republic, militias, the Chinese corporations, and Russian intelligence for the last, gosh knows how many years. So, those are the things that Trump should focus on and hopefully work with European partners to rebuild the Venezuelan oil industry, which can rebuild Venezuela.
Well, his plan is to use the oil resources and the money from it to fund his campaign in Venezuela. He's issued that statement that it is the Venezuelans that will pay for the ouster of Maduro and the transition that it's now going through. What do you really think is his plan to leverage the oil resources? How do you think he's going to do that, with the China also invested in Venezuela's oil reserves and Russia also looking out carefully?
Well, I do think this sends a very strong message to the countries that you mentioned, China, Russia, that the Western Hemisphere is concerned about energy security. And when you tie together Venezuela to the United States to Canada, that that stretches together a fairly formidable energy security blanket. So it is a strong message to those countries as far as oil goes. Now, as far as what the U.S. will do with that oil, again, I can't reiterate this enough. You know, this money, if Venezuela, and I want to emphasize the security concerns with Venezuela, with not just foreign actors as far as governments, but also terrorist organizations, Hamas, Hezbollah, Al Qaeda in these countries operating in Venezuela, that the best way to get rid of them is to rebuild these countries and rebuild these institutions and to rebuild Venezuela into a functioning democratic society.
All right, thank you very much, Adrian, for joining me in this discussion. We appreciate you speaking to us. And with that, viewers, let's move ahead and bring you some news from Switzerland.